Okay, welcome back. So we've changed a few things around again. So we've upgraded our locker system, just basically from the blue ones to the big ones. A bit more storage space. We've moved all our screens as well. Just built a little hub for the screens. We are going to get more screens down the line, so keep them separate. Also, we've added, so we've got 20 T2s, drills and heaters, 20 veggie tubes as well, T2s, kept the T1 heaters, kept the T2 T1 drills. There's not much point in deleting them, to be fair. They add a bit, so just leave them as they are. What else have we done? I think that's about it, to be fair. Well, we've cleared out the rest of that ship from last time. And you will notice that the KTI hasn't really moved. I got rid of all the power so we didn't get too ahead of ourselves, so you can actually keep up. So what we're going to do is place down another power supply and then get that KTI rolling. So around 150 KTI you're going to unlock this, the nuclear reactor. Now the uranium rods you can pretty much find in chests. You might have to look around a bit. We got lucky, we found one in that ship. Same with the super alloy as well. You can get them in chests, or you can harvest them, which I will show you a couple of spots later on down the line. I'm not quite ready for that yet. So shut down your power, and then that nuclear reactor should be good enough for at least the next couple of hours that you're building. It really does provide a lot of energy. So as you can see, our KTI is flying up there. We've built no T3 drills or anything yet. They do require a lot of materials, and aluminum is... it's not difficult to find, it's just a nightmare. There's not many places for it. So, what we're going to do is head on over to this big ship over here. And then hopefully by the time we've raided that, our KTI will be up enough that we can actually build more gear. And that's where I've placed most of the T2 drills. Placed a couple down here as well. It will get flooded, but they're only drills. They're fine. Okay, that's definitely what we want. Advanced crafting station is pretty good. And again, we just need to wait for this all to melt down. Shouldn't take us too long now. We've got T2 heaters. Okay, so for this bit, there's not much we can do. We can't actually get in there. It's just, yeah, just a bit of wreckage. But there is another golden chest. It's a lot easier with a jetpack, but yeah. So we'll take that. In fact, we'll take it all apart from this. We'll drop that. Again, I don't really collect them. You can collect them and drop them onto desks. So let's just get rid of that. So we get another super alloy and aluminum as well, which is pretty good. So let's get into the ship. Okay, we'll probably want to take all of that, dismantle the chest. And we'll set that as well. Just for the iridium alone is worth it. Definitely want that. I mean, we've barely got into the ship and we're almost full. So this one is probably going to take you 3 or 4 trips to completely gut it. We still can't get rid of them yet. We're waiting for T2 Why is it a deconstruction yet? Yeah, so waiting to upgrade this one. You may as well take the iron. Like I say, you're going to need it down the line anyway. But I will trade that for that. Nice. So your food growers are very important for later down the line. A lot of people tend to wait until they actually need the food. Not good practice. If you've got it available, start building them. Again, you probably going to want about 10 of each of the seeds. So far we've only got squash seeds, but there is eggplants. Oh, nice biodome. Sorry, yeah, there is eggplants, green beans. You can get coca and wheat as well if you use your trade port, and that goes towards some of your achievements. So definitely worth trading them off. So with your food growers, because they allow you to actually collect stuff from, I'll normally keep this in line with the base. So anything that you cannot collect anything from is pointless having it near your base. You may as well just chuck it out the way. So I would probably build up from here. I'll show you. Because this is now dead space, it might be easier just to chuck a ladder there. Idiot. Just chuck that away. And then you can build all this as you grow in base. So start from here. I don't think we've got enough materials to iron. So that would be the start of your base there. Obviously put your door in and then expand that to probably only want to go 3 across and then 4 down. Even 3 down. Possibly. You can normally fit 4 tubes down a wall. 10, 12. 4. Yeah, you definitely want to be going at least 2 across. If you do like having the space zone you want to grow the coca and the wheat, I'd go 3 across and 3 down, so make it a 3x3. It's just easier. And like I say, if you start growing it now, then when you actually need it, you've got a huge supply of it anyway. But I won't bore you by building all this out. I'll wait until video finishes and then take out the power so we don't lose the KTI streak. I mean, eventually the iridium and the uranium, you will want to build out another storage space for the iridium rods and keep the iridium separate. Aluminum. Okay, and any plants you've got, because we've built the 20 T2 veggie tubes, we could just chuck them straight in, but we'll decode all these first. Nice, nice. Recycling machine, not bad. You don't tend to use the recycling machine that much, unless you build, I don't know, a couple of rockets that you no longer need. You can just recycle them back for original materials. So this is our veggie tube storage. So in here we've got pretty much every plant that we possess. Just keep chucking plants in until they're all full. However, the lerma seeds don't actually give anything off. So there's no point in putting them in. I'm fairly sure I didn't put any more in. Yeah. But you will need a lot of lerma seeds later on down the line for crafting. So if you do find any knocking around, definitely pick them up. And again, if needs be, just build another storage unit for them. Lerma seeds. Okay, so we'll head back to that ship that we've just come from. Oh, not that one. And the other thing I would say as well is if you have enough aluminum for beacons, then where the Iridian cave is, just drop a beacon down there, and you can beacon out the ships as well so you know where you're going. It just makes it easier, especially if you need a specific material, then you just head to that beacon. And when you get the automatic drills, it makes it easier finding out where to place them essentially. So eventually most of your map will just be beaconed out. You can remove your beacons obviously once the T3 veggies will just be T2s. Okay, so I will start to build T3 gear once this finishes. As you can see, we're on 320 already. We've only been on, what, 5-10 minutes. And we've gone up by 150 points easily. And that's just by T2 gear. Mainly heaters, to be fair. Right. Let's tick all that. Again, you can take your spacesuits if you really want to. I tend to do that and then build out a couple of statues later on, then place them on. They does look up pretty cool, to be fair. Okay. No, we definitely haven't got enough room to deconstruct that, so I'm going to leave that for the minute. Okay, this thing. Later on down the line, you're going to get the ability to make fusion cores, so you can actually power up dead ships. All that essentially does is unlocks a few doors. So this door here would unlock possibly this door, and you just get a lot of credits. And you do need credits if you want your alternative ending. You can read the messages on the ships. Yeah. Just for future references, it should just tell you what sort of ship it is, and nice. But once you've read a message, it will appear on your message screen anyway. So I'll tap that. And I'll show you the message screen in just a tick. Let's say that. And I don't really want to be leaving this ship half looted, so I mean, there's another 2 here. So it's definitely another trip. Possibly 2. I don't think there's anything else down there. No, we've cleaned that out. Also check these sort of cabinets as well. Sometimes there are seed packs knocking around, and like I say, you could really do with having seeds in there. Even if you don't use the food that grows, you can always feed them to animals later on down the line. So it's always good practice to have an abundance of food. Like I say, a lot of recipes require food, and also you need to feed your animals later on. Okay, so we're going to go and check how much heat we're actually generating. Hopefully it should be near the 500 mark. And if you remember the ice walls that block caves out, they should start melting at 500. So if we go on to here, not too bad. It's about another half an hour gameplay. It should be near the 500s. And then most of that ice would melt. But it also tells you what it unlocks as well. So when you get to 500 NK, obviously a sign. Well, that's quite out of reach at the minute. T3 heaters at 80, so about halfway there. So the easiest way to get oxygen is with your T3 veggies. So 0.3, 2.4, and then it bumps up to 26. Definitely worth taking out the T2s and replacing them with T3s, which I will do after the video stops. The biodome as well is massive. It takes a lot of materials, but 270 oxygen is huge. You don't need to place any plants in there. It just generates it by the loma seed that you've put in there as well. So again, a lot of materials, but definitely worth it. We will build this up because we definitely need one of them. And you can build that. I wouldn't recommend building it just yet. Yeah, you need super alloy, and it's a pain in the backside to get straight away. So I'd leave the recycling machine until you start getting a steady supply of super alloy. Same with the launch platform as well. I would tend to leave that for the minute. We don't have any rockets. We can't find any rockets yet because we're not quite far into the game. When you start finding rockets, that's when I'll build the launch platform. So we do need them as well. So when the video stops, I will build some T3s up. I will build the veggie tubes as well. But I will build this one now just to show you what it does. And then probably the biodome, if I've got enough material, which I think I do. I will just build you one of them now, just to show you how it looks. Oh, messages, that's what I was going to show you. So anything you find out in the world should just be here. Any direct messages will appear in here. You can have a read through. Sometimes it gives you clues on a few hidden things within this world, but we're not quite there yet. It just basically tells you like the backstory. We're going to get rain soon, so we're on clouds at the minute. We should unlock a jetpack soon. Yeah, just keep your terraformation as it is, and then eventually we'll get to rain, and then you can start doing plants and so on and so forth. But let's get that crafting station done. So I'll probably put it around here. Need titanium silicon. Oh, idiot. It's not a big clunky thing, so damn it, I needed that magnesium. Just here is fine. This is where you can start making rocket engines, jetpack. Nice. Right. So definitely want the T4 backpack. As you can see, a lot of the blueprints are super alloy heavy, but you can make super alloy from just your basics. The only issue there is the aluminum. It's not great in steady supply. But we definitely want them. We definitely want that. So we need... I'll probably go for the jetpack before the T4 backpack. So 2 super alloys, 2 iridiums, and 4 uraniums. I don't think I've got... No, damn it. I've got that. So we need another uranium, so that is out of the question for the minute. No, that's a shame. But I will go and harvest the materials whilst the game stopped. And again, when I do stop the video, I'll take out the power as well so we don't jump ahead. We can chuck that straight into the veggie tube. Fabric's quite difficult because you can't really craft it until very later on down the line. So try not to waste it, especially on building things like beds and corner sofas and stuff. It's just not worth wasting just yet. So the next one is normally going to be the sort of gear. I mean, you might get the same one. You can destroy it later on if you wish, but at least keep one of each. Right, let's go and drop them in. Okay, so the rockets don't show up until you build the launch platform. But again, super alloy is a nightmare to come across. So, in fact, I'll try and build the jetpack. So I'll show you where the super alloy is. So we need a uranium, won't it? Where's that cave gone? So I'll show you the uranium cave. It's a bit of a walk, but bear with me. And again, you might get lucky and find it in chests, so definitely have a look at the chests on your way down. This section is where you find most of the aluminum to start with. Oh, nice. One more. You can drop into that ship as well if you want. Some pretty decent gear in there. I'll take that. And again, normally I would clear out all the chests and then deconstruct them, but I don't want to just yet. I'll take the blueprint. Okay, we've definitely got enough uranium now. I'll take that, and that's... Right, so when I get my jetpack, I will show you that uranium cave next. I will build a couple of beacons as well, so if you want to follow suit sort of thing, then you can do. And there's a couple of ships back there. There's one big donut one around here somewhere, just so you can see the top of it. Oh, just that one there. So you can go and explore all of them. There is a golden chest around here too somewhere. Where are you? There. So again, there's some pretty decent gear. I definitely want that. Probably that. But again, when you deconstruct it, you get super alloy anyway. Nice. What are we on? 550 KTI. Okay. What do we need? Two super alloy. titanium. Okay, so jetpack's in there. Just left click it, it chucks it into your backpack. Double jump, and your jetpack activates. And tier 1 isn't that great, but it's better than nothing. There is no jetpack fuel, so you can continuously fly if you wish. It just makes travel that little bit easier. Let me chuck all this down. What have we got? Okay, so let's have a quick look at what we've just unlocked. The this here, the big living compartment, is definitely worth having. So it's basically 4 blocks in one, but there's no inner walls, so you have a lot more space to build in. So what I would tend to do is any old style bases like this, I would deconstruct it all and then build out with big living compartments. It's just a lot more room and you can fit more in, so it's a no-brainer really. It will take you a while, but it's definitely worth it. So the super alloys, probably wouldn't do that just yet. I would wait until at least we get a steady supply of super alloy, or you can just continuously make it from your tier 2 crafting station. We definitely need super alloy to build that. What else did we unlock? The recycling machine. So the uranium rods that we have, if you need just individual bits of uranium or iridium, you can put the rods into the recycling machine and it spits out, I think it's 9 uranium or iridium. So if you are desperate for single units, then sacrifice one of your rods for it. The shredder machine literally destroys anything put in there. So if you have an abundance of iron, for instance, you can just keep chucking iron into it and it will eventually, well, just disappear. It will get rid of it. What else? What else? What else? Area lamps, you can build them if you really want them more aesthetically pleasing, but don't really do anything. Give off a little bit of light, sure, but no point. Same with these, the outdoor lamps. They look good. You can change the colours on there, but just more aesthetics than anything else. Right, let's go to super alloy. I've got nothing else. Oh no, let me drop that off first. So once all of these are full, obviously we're going to upgrade them for T3s, but once they're all full, you can then start picking and choosing which ones you drop in. So try and keep your 3s possibly 250. You don't want anything below 250. You're just wasting a tube then. Okay, so super alloy. This is where you're going to find the majority of it. Especially when you have a jetpack, it just makes it easier. So on these ridges here, that's where a lot of super alloy lives. So if you don't want to scale a mountain like that, you can go right back to the beginning, which, if you're just in a canyon, you don't necessarily need the jetpack to actually get to it. First of all, it just makes it easier. Chest. We got that for the minute. Okay, so if you follow this ridge all the way around, I mean, it's there as well, so you might as well grab that over here. Well, you'll see a ship, and then the entrance to that ship is just here. You can go through the ship and then onto the ridges. You're going to be doing a couple of trips here because that ship has a lot of gear inside it. But we're just here for super alloy for the moment. Nothing else down there. Okay, you're also going to find aluminum here as well. I tend to leave that for the moment. Super alloy is more important. But eventually you'll come back here and take out all the aluminum too. Okay, from this point out, most of your recipes will require super alloy. So gather as much as you can from these ridges. It might take you a while. They're kind of scattered in weird positions. But now we've unlocked the jetpack, it's just a lot easier to get to. And also the chests that you find in the world as well. Scale up. So if you are on jetpack stages or rocket stages, then some of the chests will contain rocket engines. Most of them will now contain super alloys. So they do scale up with the game. You're probably going to do just a couple of flybys. You will miss some on your first run out. I never collected that chest either, did I? So if there's a big enough gap, you can jump and then activate your jetpack at the last minute and it should get you over. And we'll set that. Now I would tend to take out a blueprint more than the super alloy. And as you can see, we're completely full. So we'll head back. And yes, when you unlock the beacon, definitely place one at your home base. Yeah, it's just a lot easier. Okay, mapping screen. So your mapping screen is essentially for rockets. When you use the GPS rockets and obviously drone rockets, it will all come up in the mapping screen section. We've not built any of that yet, so we don't need to worry about it. Again, we're not using oxygen on this, but that tank is really good, so you may as well build one out. Backpack, always needed. Highly recommend. As soon as you unlock a black backpack, then build it up straight away. I was looking at the wrong one as well, jeez. So even though it uses 3 of your super alloy, it is definitely worth it. We're not even built at T3 oxygen. No, we haven't. Unreal. Right, so that's pretty much the basics of your advanced crafting station done. You can see backpack now is pretty big, to be fair, so it gives us an extra 8 slots. Definitely needed. Let's have a look. Don't need to build any of that just yet. Your ore extractors, osmium, it can be difficult to find earlier on in the game, but there are plenty of caves with osmium, and once you start building T3 drills, you can just specifically mine for osmium as well, so eventually you just get an abundance of it. So there's not much we can do in terms of building that just yet until we find it. Everything else is, I wouldn't say easy to find, but easier to find. They are a nightmare to build. The iridium rods, well, yeah, they're not easy to find, and again, you're in the same sort of situation. You kind of need the ore extractor inside the iridium cave. So yeah, you're going to be spending most of your time just running around looking for iridium rods to build your T3 heaters. Again, though, I try and keep it to around 20 of them. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of rods, but you will eventually find them all anyway. And by the time you've done all that, T4s, you might be able to start building T4s. But for the time being, though, I will show you the biodome. 2 cobalt, aluminium. Okay, I normally place biodomes over the water. No specific reason, it's just out the way then. Let's drop that there. Obviously going to need a door, possibly a platform. In fact, to place that like a clan. Let's move that. There we go. So chuck a door in there and then you can go inside it. Right, I'm taking silicon. Nice. Anyway. Jetpacking is definitely quicker than walking, even with agility boots. Okay, so if you have multiple biodomes, then they will attach to each other using these doors. You don't need to build a door every time. So that's just going to be your main door, and then any more you build after that will just attach just onto the back there, and it will keep running down until 1, you run out of room, or 2, you decide to come back the other way. And as you can see for the KTI multiplier, it's ridiculously quick. Simply because it chucks out that much oxygen. So with the biodomes, I would probably have 5 T1s. Yeah, depends on your lerma seeds, but try and aim for about 5 of them. What else did we just unlock? Grass spreaders, again with the lerma seeds, they are not great in abundancy. It does mean that you'll have to hit pretty much every chest and every ship you see just to find the lerma seeds. You can craft them down the line, but by then it's already too late. There's not much point for them. We've just unlocked something else, right? Water collectors. 100% you need water collectors, and because obviously it gives out something that you can eventually collect, keep it relatively close to your base. Doesn't need to be bang on. So I tend to drop mine just down here. I don't think I can build another one, can I? No. But eventually you'll find water bottles in here. You are going to need quite a lot of water at some point when you're doing algae and such. So definitely worth having around 4 of them, possibly 5. No, stick to 4, and then once you get advanced collectors, then they go in the ponds and such. So stick to 4 water collectors. What else we got? Right, I will try and find some osmium while I'm out, and then show you what it does next time. Yeah, definitely need more of them. So solar panels, we don't need any more of them because we have the nuclear reactor. You won't ever need to build any more of them. Same with the wind turbines, you would never need to build them again. Never build them unless you just want to make it aesthetically pleasing. Definitely concentrate on building these. They're just better. Right, I think that is about it. Like I said, I wouldn't do the mapping screen until I've got a launch pad. In fact, I can build that now just to show you. What did that just drop? Okay, so the usual suspects, we've got nothing better at the minute. Okay, that's fine. So launchpad wise, keep it not too far away from your base, but far enough because it is quite a big platform. And once you start getting a lot of rockets, you'll be back and forth to that platform quite often. So if you head up the stairs and then have a look at what rockets you can actually launch, it tells you exactly what you need. Ideally, you want to be launching between 10, 15 of these, possibly 20. The more you launch, the more the multiplier goes up. So it 1000% on the pressure multiplier. Yeah, 20 of them would just be insane. But yeah, that's what we normally aim for, is around 20. And it's a lot of rockets, but yeah. And then GPS satellite, you only need 1. So there's a few stages of GPS satellites. Definitely worth it. We can't build a map yet, but highly, highly recommended. Obviously, you can see the atmosphere's now changed. We're starting to get water, so we should be there or thereabouts on the next stage. We're definitely there now, I think. We should also be at 500. Yeah, so heat's now 500, so all the ice within the caves should now start to melt. It doesn't happen instantly. You might have to wait just a few more minutes for it. But a lot of these ice walls will be blocking things like osmium and sulfur. So definitely check back in them caves. So we're at rain stage, and then liquid water is just around the corner, which is great because then we can start harvesting algae and stuff like that. So if you have a look here, it's fine. Possibly. That's what we want. We're quite a way off there. Definitely way off there as well. But that's the ultimate goal. Your T3 ones are just insanely good. And then them coupled with drones, it's very easy life. But that's about it. So we'll leave it there for the time being. I'll take out the power, just so we can build everything up and then show you what we built and how it's built. I will start mapping out where the caves are as well, and I will launch a rocket. In fact, I'll save the rocket for the next video just to show you what it does. But the GPS rocket is a must, especially if you've got a lot of beacons like these. It just makes life a lot easier. I will build out all this as well. I might even get rid of all this and then replace it with the big living compartments too. So yeah, I will see you on the next video. Cheers, thank you.